we are doing the consent. So here MVC it is here design pattern. Okay, we are calling design. Why design pattern? Already the ready-made tools are there for solving the existing problem. Okay, so ready-made tool, ready-made template, control one folder is there, and view one folder is there, model one folder is there. Okay, so already they are having lot of modules, lot of folders are there. Okay, so that's why separate the concern. Okay, separate the concerns means we can decouple the things. We can decouple the things. What's the decouple the things? This is that user interface. This is that business layer. Okay, so this is that output. Okay, so we can suppose if I concentrate one module, so others can concentrate other module. Okay, I don't want to interact with. Suppose if I concentrate another module, so others can do that other module concentrate. There is no any There is no any dependence. Okay, so that's why it's a decouple the things. Okay, it's a decouple the things. We can concentrate our requirement in the proper manner. We can concentrate our requirement in the proper manner. Okay, that's why the first point it is here separate concern. Separate concern. MVC is here. Design pattern is here. Separate concern. Separation of concerns, which means we can decouple the things. Advantages I am telling. Okay, advantages I am telling. Separation of concern. Separation of concern, which means concern. Concern, which means that we can decouple the things. That we can decouple the things. Decouple the things. Decouple the things, and we can concentrate. That means we can decouple the things and we can concentrate our requirement. Concentrate on our requirement in a proper manner. In a proper manner. Suppose how we can decouple the things. How can we can decouple the things? Okay, that's why the name they are saying model view controller. So what is this? Suppose in this diagram I can take this is the controller. Controller means there is a user input. Okay, so every user requesting the page, okay, from the browser. So that request directly come to the controller. Okay. So that is why the controller is a user input. Then view is a user interface, UI part, and model is a business logic. Business logic. So the controllers, the user giving the input. Okay. So after giving the input to the, suppose the controller getting the input from the user, next the controller can interact with the model, okay, to provide the model information to the view. Controller, after getting the input from the user, controller can interact with the model, okay, and provide the model information to the view. in order to render the information, view can interact with the
business logic.
model, okay, and display the output. In order to render the information, so view can interact with the model and renders the output. What is the first point? So this is the model. This is the decoupled things. So if suppose if anyone concentrate on the view, okay, so that guy don't want to concentrate on controller. Suppose if anyone concentrate on the controller without interacting to the model, so anyone writing the business logic without interacting with the view. Okay, so everything it is here separate concern.
Just like layer architecture.
Yes, so here it is a ready-made tool. It is a design pattern. We are calling MVC is here design pattern. Design pattern means it's a ready-made tool. It is here a ready-made tool. So we are putting our logic. After getting the values from the user, after getting the user, controller can interact with the model and provide the model information to the view. So in order to render the model, in order to render the model information, so view can communicate with the model and render the output. Okay, that's why this is the user interface. So this is the input values. This is the business logic. The business logic may be like database you are creating. Okay, databases connection, those details will be. Otherwise, entity classes, maybe customer classes, order classes. Okay, student classes, teacher classes. Okay, all the classes begin in that model, belongs to in the model. Okay, what are the main advantages? Okay, this is the separate concern, one of the advantages. And second, loosely coupled. Okay, first separation of code. That's why I am telling separation concern. Am I right? Separate concern I am saying means separation of code. Our second thing, loosely coupled. We can decouple the things. This is the loosely coupled, not strongly coupled. Strongly means suppose that view is depend on the controller, maybe controller depend on the model, maybe that view depend on the model. It's not depend. That's why I am saying loosely coupled. Second point is here loosely coupled. Okay. Third point is here it support unit testing. It support unit testing. Actually, in .NET, in unit testing, I have to teach two things. I need to teach in the .NET, three things. So remember, I can teach partial class. I want to teach you. Okay. But simple things anyway. If I am missing, somebody will ask what is partial class means. Oh, I taught everything. Advanced concept and all I taught you. Suppose if I simple, anybody will come and ask simple question. What's the partial class? What their perspective? Oh, this trainer really partial class of the basic class he didn't teach. Then how the trainer? Definitely there is. Okay, because they are coming from outside. Okay, partial class or partial methods I will talk about the things. Next is authentication. One topic is there in ASP.NET. Okay, and unit testing, how to do the unit testing, and one more web service. The four topics, very important topics. Okay, just note it. This week I need to complete like partial class or methods, partial class and methods, partial class and methods, and unit testing and web service and security concept, authentication. Okay, fine.
Web services particularly ask whenever they are asking for it.
Questions they will ask you.
MVC job circular, they also mention this web service. Basically.
Okay, fine.
Authentication, web service,
Authentication.
And second
Unit
thing,
testing.
third unit testing. Okay, what is the unit testing? Unit test, you are going to validate or check your module.
testing also.
Okay. So unit testing, and we are saying like white box testing also. Unit testing is here. Developer can check their models. Suppose I am doing my project. I wanted to check according to my requirement this method is working or not. According to my requirement. So I can check, I can see my code. That is why they are saying white box testing. One more name, white box testing. Black box testing means that client will be checking. Client whether action is working or not. That's a black box testing. So client is not able to see the code under whether that working. Maybe customer maybe can check whether this action work. Okay, if I click file, so lot of actions are coming or not. So these are the black box because they are not able to see the code. Okay, that's why it's a black box testing. So unit testing is a developer can check their module. Okay, so we have to write that some code and do explicitly. I can teach, but the unit testing is a separate tool in ASP.NET. But in MVC, they are implicitly added the unit testing. If you want unit testing, just check it. Automatically the code that unit test will be added. But in .NET, we can add explicitly. We need to add the explicit. That's why unit testing support implicitly. And second thing, search engine optimization. Search engine optimization. We can easily go to the particular model because in ASP.NET and all like HTTP, then local host port number, then form. Okay, so in the form lot of models will be there. Okay, so whatever the models we need to I can open all the models. Which model I want, I can go to select this. Here I don't want to go that entire page. Suppose that page lot of models, I want particular models only I wanted to access, particular method only I can access. So easily I can search in the URL, controller classes and action, which method I wanted to go. Okay, so easily search that particular module. That's why search engine optimization
for the project. Ya project is ini kira itu pun pasal lagi.
Okay. So it will go to the HTTP routing. Okay. So what is a route, sir? Okay, it's a route map. So route map only is handling your request, which control, which action. Okay, whether you are sending the parameter. Okay, the HTTP routing is a separate topic. I will teach you maybe by tomorrow deeply. Okay, just I am telling who's handling the MVC request. Okay, who's handling the MVC request, that is HTTP routing. Okay, so when the request come from the browser, okay, what's the request will given for the HTTP routing? Okay, given for the HTTP routing, so that this request will transfer to the route. Understand? First you are that request getting from the user. Okay, that's the input I am telling. Okay, so here I am not talking about controller and the view. I am telling that who's handled that request. Okay, the main. Okay, so we are discussing the application underscore start event in that ASP.NET. When where the request will come in the application in the global.asx file, application start and the session start and session end, application end. We discussed already. Am I right? This application state management I taught you. Okay, because every application, every in ASP.NET request first comes to the application underscore start event only. That event is contains in the global.asx file. Okay, but here in MVC, who's handling this request with the HTTP routing? Okay, so where it's available, how can see that means if you are, I will show that app underscore start one method folder is there. In the app underscore if you click means some route map method is there. In the route map or the URL will be there. URL means which control you are going to initially running by default. Okay, I will tell you deeply later. Okay, the request will be given for HTTP routing. Okay, so once the request take from the HTTP routing, the route will transfer the request to route handlers. Okay, what is handlers? HTTP handlers handle the request. Handle the request. Okay, that's why we are calling HTTP handlers. But here, route handler means it's in MVC is handling the control action. Okay, that things. That's why route handler. Okay, once the request submitted to the route handler, that route handler will transfer the request to the HTTP handler, because everything is running in the HTTP only. Okay, protocol, HTTP protocol only. Okay, that's why the route handler transfer to the HTTP handler. So once the HTTP handler getting request from the route handler, again it will pass to the controller class. This is the main. Okay, controller it is a class. Okay, so that's why everything in ASP.NET, MVC, whatever the technologies we are going to discuss about, everything as a class. Okay, maybe we are thinking like C# only we are explicitly writing class name, class name. Here ASP.NET we are discussing about class object. Means this is you don't want to create, everything is there. Every control as a class. Every text box, grid view, everything is a class. Okay, the object also there. When you click that control, E object is there. Okay, so every object class, everything is a built-in. You are not creating. Explicitly create means you need to write lot of code. Text box under text object equal to new text box, then object dot width, height, color set, background color. So many things are there. Okay, so why I am talking about this? Everything basic C#. Whatever we discuss, class, objects, overloading, overriding, basic concept we are discussing. That's why simply I am telling controller it is a class. Page is a class. ASP.NET page is a class. Okay, don't think about that. C# is a different topic we are discussing. Here we are discussing. Some people are saying, I heard already, some students are, sir, we are discussing class objects and all in C#. But here easy, sir, we are taking the drag of the control under. Here there is no class object, nothing. Everything is a built-in. Everything is a built-in. But you should know everything created as a class format. Okay. Class means obviously supported with sponsor. Am I right? There you are right. C# explicitly you are writing for learning purpose. You are writing class name, then object equal to new object. You are doing with the help of object you are calling. Everything is explicit. Fine. So then the controller will transfer the information to the view engine. Okay, suppose I am not using model. Okay, so without using model also I can run the MVC application. It's directly communicate to the controller to view. Okay, it's not communicate to the model. Okay, if you want to communicate to the model, we can go like through model also. Okay, so that's why here control class, then view engine. So view engine will, it means it's a user interface page. User interface page. Okay, so then it will return that result. Every result will be displayed in that view only. So you are getting the response of output. You are getting the response or output. Okay, so why I am here, I am telling about that. When you are requesting the page, it's come to the controller view model at the basic scenario. But main purpose, who's the getting that request and doing all the things, means that is a route. Okay, route or route we are saying. Route methods. Okay. So that method I will show when I start the application. I will show you where that method is available. So who's handling the request? User like typing like HTTP like port number, then controller, then action. Who's getting that request and processing? That is a router. That's why he has mentioned that route handler. Okay. Then after the route handler, every web page is handling the HTTP protocol only. Am I right? We are using browser, right? Okay. So that's why it will send to the HTTP handler. Final state. Then the controller then. These things I will teach you deeply Tomorrow class, how to where that available, how to suppose by default I wanted to execute some application. Suppose I have lot of methods and controller classes, but initially I wanted to run this controller, this method only when I run the application. Okay, I don't want to search it like I don't want to mention in that controller then action. Initially some controller and action should be displayed. Means so where I should mention these things into MVC. That things will be discussed by tomorrow. Okay. Now we are going to open the MVC application. Okay, just we should know the basic idea. Okay, what are the folders are? Okay, so what the folders which contains. Okay, so it's a ready-made tool already told. I'm not going to talk about the ready-made tool. Just I am going to delete everything. Just the empty tool. In the empty tool, how we are going to create the controller class, how to create the model class, or how to create the view. Okay. So otherwise, by default models, everything will be there. But you don't know how to create the classes, how the method. We are not able to learn very deeply. Connect my projector. Okay, it's not like that. Everything is that basic root ASP.NET. Everything is here basic concept in ASP.NET. Okay, this is for it is here one kind of design pattern. One kind of design pattern. It's not a separate technology. It's not a replacement of ASP.NET. It's not a replacement of ASP.NET. It is a framework. It's like suppose you are using link to SQL and link to entity framework. It is a framework. Okay. MVC also it is a framework. Okay. It's a design pattern. It's not a separate from that ASP.NET. Okay. That's why here they are added first. They are not separate from the MVC. First they are first showing ASP.NET implementation. Okay. First select. Then okay. Here everything is there. Okay, it's not separate MVC. The form also there, MVC also there. So whatever you wanted to work, you can select. Okay, it's not a separate. So here I want to perform means I can use the MVC mean MVC or empty perform means empty. Okay, you can select. So I am going to select MVC here. Okay. So change the authentication because I don't want to set any authentication. Just select the authentication, select the no authentication. No authentication. Then okay. Are you following me or not? I will wait. Okay, sir.
Sir, I don't have MVC.
Okay, sir. You know that. That's why you are saying okay, sir.
No, sir.
He has to do now.
Sir, I don't have MVC. It's not showing.
Huh?
It's not showing MVC.
Not MVC is not showing.
No, sir. No, sir.
Right. So now complete. Then select MVC. Then okay. Now okay. that built-in folder. Alright, suppose if you see here controller, models, and if you click controller, already they are having home controller. If you a models it means it is having something. So I don't want to do this because I am going to learn from scratch. Okay, I don't want to any by default controller. Okay, I am going to learn very basic. Okay, so but here if you are selecting MVC, by default controller class came, by default view classes came. Okay, so I don't want to because I want to need to understand from basic. That's why I am going to delete this controller. I am going to delete the controller class. I am going to delete the if you click the view about every classes I am going to delete and contact I am going to delete. Okay, listen. Now I am going to create controller class. Okay, what is already we discussed? What is the controller classes? What is the controller class? Is the user input. When you are giving the input, input you are getting from the controller only. Okay, then controller can communicate. Suppose if you want to communicate through model means, so controller can interact with the model and provide the model information to the view. Okay, so in order to render that information, so view can interact with the model and render the output. Okay, this is that transferring the information between them. So first I am going to create my own controller classes. So right click and add. No, everyone should do it. Then I will say add controller. You are going to add controller class. In the controller class, lot of templates are there. MVC controller, MVC controller read and write action. So initially I am going to use the MVC controller empty. I am not using the entry framework and not redirect action. So first I am going to use the basic MVC controller view. Okay, MVC controller empty class. Just select, then add. So here it will ask some name. So by default it's a default controller key. So controller it is a reserved word. Controller it is a reserved word. Without you, suppose if you are deleting this controller keyword, it will not work. It will showing the error. So the controller it is a reserved word. So before we should add some name. So I am going to add some. Suppose my first is home controller. The name is here home controller. Okay. Then add. No, added. Better see. We added in entity framework, na? Entity framework PyR. So in this way you can try.
I will try with this one.
How MVC not there, sir?
I don't know. Weird problem strings. Maybe something is missing.
Listen, see. Public class home controller. So home controller it is here class. Home controller is here class. Okay. So when you are requesting that controllers, first we should use the home only, not controller. Okay, only the class name. Okay, home only. So just I am telling. This is the class. The home controller inherit from the controller class. Home controller is a class which is inherit from the controller class. Okay. Within the home controller classes, we can give them some actions. Okay, what is the action? This is the index. It is the action. It's like a method. It's like a method's action. So action result it is here return type. It is a built-in return type. Okay, I can use my also string, public string. I can write also my own way also. I can do this. Okay, so this is the built-in type action results, view result. Okay, there are some results of the return type of the action. Okay, so this is the access script, this is the return type, this is the function name index. By default, okay, by default controller class is a hook, and by default method name is a index. Okay, method name is a index. Okay, suppose I wanted to access this particular index. Okay, so then I will go to communicate to the view. Communicate to the view. Here I am not going to add any model information. I am not going to add any model information. Okay, just how to create the view. How to create the view. Just go to that basic I am telling. Just go to the see, when you are creating the controller class, by automatically some folder will be created into the view. Okay, if you are going to create any controller classes, okay, in the name of the controller classes, automatically that folder will be created into the view. Okay, I have created home controller class. What is the name of my controller name? It's a home. Just go and see that view folder. Automatically the home folder is created. Automatically the home folder is created. Okay, so here I am going to, because I am going to communicate controller to view. Am I right? Understand or not? Okay, so that's why here I am going to create the view. Explicitly I am going to create the view. Right click. Okay, add view. So suppose I am going to give some view name. Okay, display. View name is here. Display. I don't want to any layout. Just what? Okay. I uncheck. I don't want to any layout. Empty without model because I don't want to add any model also. Just I am going to communicate controller and view mode. Controller and view mode. What is my view name? Is here display. Okay. Just I am adding here. So what is my here? This is the raster engine, right? This is the raster engine. Alright. So everything is like a .cs HTML. Just go and see that. What is the extension of the view? .cs HTML. Okay. So here, because I am using this, when I accessing the controller class, okay, when I am accessing the index, okay, so it will return, that index method will return to the particular view. Okay, what is my view name? It's a display. Am I right? So just write display. This is one way. Other way I can tell. We can keep the same name as the action name. Now go to that display, just display some message. So just run the application now. By default it will take home page because by default home my controller name is a home controller. Okay, in the home controller I am going to access some method, that is the action method. It is the index. Okay, I am using by default index. Okay, in the index I will return the view. Okay, which view I wanted to display, that is a display view. That's why in the return statement, return view, I am using the double quotes display. Means, so that method it will be returned to the view. In the view I am writing some logic. This is my first web application. Okay, done. What exception? Check it. Good.
Restart underscore, sir.
Huh?
Underscore restart CSS.
Did you delete that? Delete that. Now run it. Access that. What is the index only, right? Display. Okay. Home controller name. Are you mental? You are laugh. Everybody get after getting the error, they will go. You are laughing. See, index.
authentication mode is
You not create home one. Home one.
authentication auto chilo auto chilo
Okay, show me your application.
authentication
Display. What is the view?
ini sedekah dengan property dekat dengan baru dekat dengan baru
Okay.
Sir, seminar.
first controller
Yeah, server error slash application.
What is your
Laptop के दिखा
তবে এসে স্ল্যাশ শো এন্টার টিকা নাকি একটা
Accident to targeted like that.
right? Okay.
Another class.
No, I don't want to create that another control class. You can create like right click and customer controller class.
sorry
Right click, add one more controller classes. Add controller. The controller name is customers. Customers. Say customers.
okay
Just create one. Customers. No, don't type. First create customers.
That's it.
Okay. Then we should create model. Go to the model folder. Right click. Add the model class. Go to the model folder. Right click. This is .cs class. Okay. Model. Add classes. Okay. That class name is a customer. Add the customer class. Then add two properties. Customer code and customer name. This is the model class. Already I told model it is here. Business logic. You can create the database connectivity. You can create the customer class, order class, student class, teacher class, any classes. Belongs to only model folder. So that's why here I have created the customer classes. It is a entity. Customer is here. Entity which contains the property, that is a customer code and customer name. Just write this. After run, build the solution.
Solution.
Okay. Build it. Customer name. After creating, just build the application. Wait.
ফার্স্ট ফার্স্ট তোলার বেসিকে কাজ করতে গেলে
ফার্স্ট দেখাইনি
যেটা কাজটা ছবি আমার to work with MVC framework we take this unit code first, right?
Huh?
To work with MVC framework we take this unit code first.
We can do MVC support it, right?
We support but only code first. We can
Code first.
use statement first.
Okay. Complete and build the application.
Yes, sir.
Just go and build. Okay. So now, okay. Come to the controller classes. In the controller classes, I have created one method. It is a load method because I am going to load the details to the view. Okay, what load the details? So I am load the customer code and customer name. I am going to load to the view. Okay. Instead of loading to the view, I wanted to assign the values to the model. I wanted to get the properties values properties in controller. Means I need to import the model class into the controller. I need to import the model class into the controller. Then only I can use the customer code and customer name. Okay. These are the property name which contains in the model class. Okay. So first we have to import the namespace. Model class namespace. That's why I told you build the solution first. So here I am import the namespace using this is my namespace, model class namespace dot models. This is your application name, right? Application name dot models. Then only we can access the model. Just import the namespace. First, okay. Models not coming.
मॉडल क्वेश्चन मॉडल स्टेप में
Okay. So
Controller
now
step.
come to here.
मॉडल्स
So method you can create. Method name is a load
सर
method.
मॉडल्स नॉट कम कंट्रोलर
Huh? Coming. You need to build the model.
हां मॉडल আসলে कंट्रोलर
You also not get it.
No, sir, I got it.
Then what?
Madam,
Using what is your namespace? LIC.
Plus one dot
LIC dot model.
कंट्रोलर और व्यू देखें
controller video
It's
model
coming
by
now.
model manually लिखे रखो तो
Hey, your namespace name here, your application name dot model. It's not like customer dot model.
ये model लिया model
So here I am adding hardcode. Am I right? I am not getting the values from the
model
user.
तो किसी नहीं
Basic that's
Model
right.
actually तो
So action is a load method. Here you are going to assign the values to the property. Okay. So customer class that which contains listen first then type. Understand the logic then do it. For already for showing output doesn't matter. So here that method is named load methods. You are going to load from action to view. Okay. So here what you are going to load? You are going to load customer code and customer name. That customer node customer it is a class which it is a property which contains in the customer class. So I should first create object for the customer class which contains in the model. Then I can pass the value. That's why customer if you are want to create the object for customer class, we should import the namespace. That's why first step done. Second step, customer object equal new customer. This is what? What is the syntax? This is. Huh? He only telling every time. Object is others. Object initializer. This is the code object initializer. New customer. Okay, this is the customer code and customer name. I am passing. Okay. So after that, so where I need to return. So everything. This customer code, customer name, which contains this object only. Okay, I should return the object to the view. I should return the object to the view. Okay, so that's why your object name. This is which view? The view name is here customers. Okay, the view name is here customers. Okay, so now just first write. Then I will go to viewport.
Public action result.
What Raju? Done. How the written view? There you should write
আমাদের
inside
কাস্টমার ক্লাসটা অ্যাক্সেস দিতেছে না
Okay.
মডেলের কাস্টমার ক্লাসটা দিতে না
Done. Don't write this part. I will tell you later. Okay. Okay. So now we have to load this information to the view. Okay. So what is the view name I did here? Customers. Okay. So here how to create the view? Same like here. Customers, right? Assessment. So go to the view folder, customer folder. Okay. And right click, add view. The view name is a customers. Sorry.
Customers.
Yes, controller name also customers. That's right. Controller name also customer, right? Okay, doesn't matter. Done. Right click add. Did you add the view? The view name is here customers view. Okay. So now write it because you are going to bind the customer name and customer code to the view. Okay. So the customer name colon at model because you are taking from the model. Am I right? Understand or not? Because customer is the property, right? Which contains the model class only. Okay. So that's why I told in the class. So in order to render the information, so that view going to communicate to the model class, then it's render the output. Understand? So that's why here the view communicate to the model class, that is this property, then it will render the output. Okay, that's why at model dot at the rate model dot customer name and model dot customer code. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Hey, listen. I wanted to say one thing, I forgot. Actually, we need to communicate the model, right? See, when you are going to add the customer view, suppose open. Okay. Right click, add, suppose view, suppose I am giving customer 1. I give it customer 1. Here not empty, okay, not empty model, not without model, except with model. You are going to find the model, right? Just like select the empty. Here select the empty. If you have added already, just delete it. If you added already, please delete it. So right click, add, select the empty model. Here what is the model class? The model class is here customer model. It's a strongly typed. When you are going to communicate to the model into the view, it's a strongly typed view. Okay, just select the model. Then add. then
তুমি এমটি মডেল নিতে বসো
okay,
Is
then
it-
it will come. So now here you can go like customer
স্লিপ কর
name.
এটা নিচে পাও
Okay, here add
কোনটা ভাই
model model dot. It's not coming. You are getting? I'm not getting. You are getting?
Yes.
Okay. This other maybe like at model dot customer name. Now before run the application, check it. What is your view name? What is your action name? What is your action name? What is your class name? Class name customers and action name load. I think so. Am I right? Now run the application. In the URL, type /customers /load.
এই কোডটা দেখি তো যে কাস্টমার কন্ট্রোল ক্লাসের কাস্টমার কন্ট্রোল ক্লাস কাস্টমার
One second. Where is that?
একটু ভাষা ভাষা লাগবে একবার একটু মাথায় কাজ করে দিলেই ক্লাস শেষ
No. Go to the view.
এখানেই দিতে হবে না সেকেন্ড প্যাকেট ফার্স্ট প্যাকেট দিতে হবে না
অবজেক্ট ইনিশিয়াল
ও অবজেক্ট ইনিশিয়ালাইজ করা যাবে না
No. Customers. Where is the customers view? Customer, no? Here customer.cshtml. Here mention customers. Better. Okay. Just delete it. Because whether it's, I don't know whether it's running or not.
দেখি তো
Okay, anyway, we can check it, then maybe.
সাজেস্ট করো
It is not work here, just run it.
Customers that
Load, no?
সাজেস্ট করো
Customer name, load.
ক্লাস পেজ করে
Accuracy
বিল্ড
load.
করেন
বিল্ড করছি তো এই যে ক্লাস এটাই তো ক্লাস তাই না মডেলের
ক্লাস হচ্ছে অষ্টম
হ্যাঁ এটার নাম ভুল দিছি তো আমি
আচ্ছা
এটার হলো আমার এখন অ্যাক্সেস করতে হবে কন্ট্রোলার থেকে তাই তো
হ্যাঁ এই যে কত ভুল ওই যে এটা তো কমপ্লিট করেন নাই এটা কমপ্লিট করেন
এটা তো সাজেশন দিতেছে
কাস্টমার নেম লিখে দিয়েছেন কাস্টমার নেম তারপরে কি হবে বলুন তো ইকুয়াল
তারপর
কাস্টমার ঠিকই তো আছে
ও কোটেশন দিয়ে দিচ্ছে
কমা
ও
কমা দেয় তো কমা নেই
Huh?
তোমার দিতে
আপনি যেই ক্লাস যেই প্রপার্টি তৈরি করছেন
কাস্টমার কোড ইকুয়াল টু ডাইরেক্ট কোডিং
10 to, your classes 10 to, continuously 10 to 5. There is no any break. Cool.
কয়টা চারটা
বাই লোড
How 10 plus 5?
তাই নাকি
লোড এরর দেখাইতেছে কি
অবশ্যই এরকম হয় আর কি সেমিস্টারে একবার
আচ্ছা,
দুইবার
না
এরর দেখাইতেছে কি?
টাইম
My MC
Load
class
is
is
over
also
here,
like
second.
3 to 5.
রিটার্ন করে না যে লেখা আছে তো
But BC class is evening college.
একটা ডেটা নেয় না
2 to 5.
রিটার্ন কিন্তু রিটার্ন টাইম
2 to 6. 2 to 6. But most of time,
Returns.
some selection not coming. I am going. Home means hostel nearby. So this is that college means hostel may be run within.
our university what every class is for 1.5
I
year.
come back and say, sir.
In our university every class is for 1.5 year. Usually the whole semester students just say after half hour teacher 1 hour maybe class going on, sometimes half an hour, but it's now exam time, that's why it's expensive. Exam time 3 days or 1
আচ্ছা
week.
এটা তো আমি ক্লাসটা পাস করবো এখানে তো ক্লাসটা পাস করবো তাই না এটা হলো ক্লাস না
এটা ক্লাস নেই আচ্ছা ভিউ নেই রিটার্ন ভিউ এই ভিউতে রিটার্ন ভিউ ভিউ হচ্ছে আপনি ভিউটারে কল করতেছেন ঠিক আছে এই ভিউটারে অ্যাকশন রেজাল্টে কল করবেন কোন ভিউতে দিবেন আর কোন ডেটাটা দিচ্ছেন সেটা
ও এটা হলো ভিউ
So what is action results method doing?
Yeah.
What is action result doing? Action result. What is it doing?
Action resistance is a built-in
Built-in return
what to return the view.
It returns to the view. So whenever we want to view, throw something to the view, we have to use action result.
It's a built-in. Even if you write string also can.
But then I have to write something else.
Yes.
Return view. Then what I have to write?
No, string return view. That's keyword.
এটাকে ইন্ডেক্সে আবার কি করতে হবে
String.
ইন্ডেক্সে আবার দেখতে হবে না ডাইরেক্ট আসবে
If I change the action result to string,
It will work.
it will work.
Just check it will work.
তো কিছুই তো আসে না এই জায়গায় তো আমার আগে কবে আসছে
No sir, it's giving error.
আচ্ছা ভাই
Error.
So we cannot use return, view, customers, the same thing.
You cannot use the return view. It's the return object or string.
To string. But if I want to throw your view,
View you cannot use it.
we can use view back.
আচ্ছা ভাই
That is pass the information. That you data. It's transfer the information.
Here with return, view, customers, cast. What
Maybe we
we
can
are doing
assign the values to the view data.
Actually, what we are doing with this line, this last line, view, customers, cast.
You are not able to use view here.
So here, if I use action result,
No. What I'm telling, return, remove the view keyword.
this keyword.
Then remove the view keyword. Only that not return. Bracket remove. This object remove.
For return,
String. Because you are saying string not. Just remove it. Object. Just string only. Of course.
just but
That's what I'm telling.
show it in the view. What I have to do
If you want to show it the,
in the
you can create the view, right? Right click and add view. The returning the where you are returning the view, this is the customer.
এই দেখি লোড দেখি লোড লেখা
তাহলে লোডের ভিতর যে মেসেজটা লিখছিস পেজের নামটা লিখছিস আর তোর এই পেজের নাম সেম কাস্টমার ওই কাস্টমার দেওয়া আছে
Okay, what is your
কেডা আমাদের ভার্সিটিতে আনছে কেন আমাদের ভার্সিটিতে আনছে কেন
এই দেখেন একটু প্রবলেম একটু দেখেন
Yes.
চলবে না তো তোমার ই দাও ইউআরএল দাও
Sir, Raju is saying that
এই যে ভাই
ইউআরএল দাও ইউআরএল এই যে দিস ইজ মাই ফার্স্ট এমভিসি অ্যাপ্লিকেশন কোথা আছে
কিন্তু ওইটা তো আসে না
কোনটা আছে
এই যে লোড করে এটা তো ডিসপ্লে হয় না
এটা ডিসপ্লে কোন জায়গায় আছে এটা কোন
রান হইব না আমি তো
এটা হচ্ছে কোন কন্ট্রোলারে আছে সেই কন্ট্রোলারের নাম তারপর কোন মেথডের ভিতরে আছে সেই মেথডের নাম
ওরে আল্লাহ। এভাবে কীভাবে লেখুন তাহলে এটা
দেখেন আপনি কন্ট্রোলারের নাম তারপর কন্ট্রোলারের নাম
ডাইরেক্ট আনা যাবে না এখানে না প্রত্যেকবার লিখতে হবে এভাবে?
কি জানি আমার তো প্রত্যেকবার লিখতে হয় না লিখলে আমরা এখন
Sir, Raju is saying that
কাস্টমার স্ল্যাশ কাস্টমার না তো কন্ট্রোলারের নাম কাস্টমার হ্যাঁ আর ইয়ের নাম ইউএর নাম
কন্ট্রোলারের নাম হলো কাস্টমার্স এই যে কাস্টমার্স এই যে কাস্টমার্স কন্ট্রোলার আর কি এটাই তো
কোন মেথড কল করতেছে
লোড মেথড
তাহলে তারপর হচ্ছে লোড কল
লোড এই তো আপনার ভিডিও
লোড কল করুন লোড এরপর হচ্ছে ইয়ে
এখন আসছে ভাই বুঝতে ভাই
adding 1001 and Kamal. Okay, this is the hard code. Okay, I wanted to get the input from the user. I wanted to get the input from the user. Okay, that's why I'm going to change something here. So just I'm going to hide this model commenter. I'm going to comment this module. Okay, so come here. So create one method, create one action that is a enter. Okay, public action result. The method initiate enter. So this action will return the view that we will say enter the customer. Just write it. Do fast. Public action result enter. So it will return the this will return the enter customer. I will tell you first will write this. Action result, action name enter. Okay, so this enter is going to return the view that is the enter customer. In that enter customer, I am going to write some logic for getting the values from the user. Okay, first write this. Do it fast.
need a view name under customer.
Just commented. Previous time, just commented. That is the basic. With the hard code, this is you are getting from the user. Overheat if you are using that Wi-Fi and the I think charge also immediately gone.
It is the problem of chipset. Intel chipset.
Enter customer, you added that. I don't want to add that because we are getting only now.
Sir, is it same as customer view?
টেমপ্লেট স্যার
Template field?
Sorry.
Sir, template field?
সেম
Sir, what is the template field for enter?
Oh, you are asking that. Last time thinking don't empty. I think without model. I think because I did in the submit page. So you are asking right this one. Empty.
Empty or empty without model?
You can click empty and with model. But I will say empty. Doesn't need. That's why because I am creating for in submit need I think. So this page you need,
We're taking data.
but this page you no need because I am passing the view only because I am getting the value there.
But if I use, so no problem. Right?
Here no need. If it is used also no problem. It's not showing any error.
Yes.
Okay. But I think doesn't need because return view enter the customer because you are going to enter only. You are not going to use. Am I right? You are not going to use the model. After entering, you are posting the values to the submit. Maybe this method, this view need that model information because binding, because you are taking object or customer name. Okay, this is I think doesn't require. Okay, so you select like empty without model. Like. We'll check. Okay, so now I'll show that enter.
So what is create as a partial? Create as a partial. What is it?
Partial view. There is partial.
While creating the view, create as a partial view. There is a checkbox.
Maybe same name they will be used. Different purpose. That's why partial class.
Keyword. Keyword. This is
পার্সিয়াল করার জন্য
Enter the
Check
customer.
করা ছিল?
Go to the enter
চেক করা আছে
customer. So we should try.
ইউজুয়ালি করা থাকে।
হ্যাঁ
Type this.
সবগুলো যে তৈরি করছি এগুলো তো এরকম আসছিল, এটা তো আবার এমন হলো কেন?
Without sound.
HTML control use করছি।
Yes, it's the form action. I think
রিকোয়েস্ট করার সময়
আমার তো এভাবে আসছে
wait.
পার্সিয়াল ভিউ লাগে।
I think it need that customer class. I think because why I'm telling the name you are using customer name, customer code, it is a proper thing. Understand? The name I am using here, customer name and customer code, it is a proper thing. Okay. Anyway, we work if it is not showing any error, we can do it. Understand or not? Here name I am input name I am using, right? This customer name, this customer code is inside that model class. Understand?
ইয়েস স্যার
That's right. It's going to check model class. That's right. If I add first, if you already add with model, doesn't matter. So here I am getting two input text box. Am I right? Input means text box. Input name. Usually we are using input type equal to ID like this only. Am I right? That's for validating the, if you are validating that client side validate means we must use the JavaScript validation means we must use the ID. but here I am not using ID, name I am using. Am I right? Because that name is which belongs to model class, customer name and customer code. That's right. Name, customer code, type equal to text. Finish. This is button, input ID, submit. One type equal to submit, value equal to submit. Here in the form action, okay, after enter the value, after submit, where it should go? Submit method. That's why action is here. Submit method is here. Post method. What's the get and post?
URL show don't show any data.
Which one?
Get
Post or not show?
post not show, get show.
Okay, so done. So now we come to that another control. If you are not doing, then computer. Okay, so we come to that control class. We need to write one action that says submit. Come to that control class. Here. So now. So this submit action is a submit, right? Oh, it's showing here.
তাহলে আমি ক্লাস হলো ভেরিয়েবল ডিক্লেয়ার করব, কন্ট্রোলার হলো সব কোড লিখুন, আর ভিউতে হলো আমি সব দেখাম আর এই তিন জায়গায় তো কাজ মডেলে হলো লেখা আর কি। I'm hiding. Then same is showing here. Am I right? Understand logic?
Submit action method. Control plus return customers. How many customers are there? Customers open. This is built-in customers. Previously also you did this customer, that customer. How that customer you have to need to model.
Yeah, display the value is
Okay, you should communicate to the model, right? Yes, in the submit action method should communicate to the model, right? Did you add or not? So empty and that model, right? Did you do this or not? I'll check.
সাবমিট মেথড কল করতে হবে না সাবমিট করলে তো কি আসে না টেক্সট বক্সে আসে না
Got
নো স্যার
empty.
টেক্সট বক্স নট শো
Because maybe that name is not same. Property name and the name you are
আপনাকে
typing,
চেঞ্জ
right?
করতে হবে তো
কিসে
ভিউয়ার নেম
The
আর
text box name, that name, property name should be matched
নেম আর
model.
অ্যাকশন নেম চেঞ্জ করতে হবে ওটা কাজ করছে তাই
Okay, this is the customer code. Customer code, customer. Okay, you are taking from there. Where is the customer code? This is submit. Submit. You will right click and add the you select empty model.
স্যার সাবমিট আর ডিলিট দিলে
Maybe
সাবমিট
submit maybe you can do. First one only I am telling doesn't require.
সাবমিটের জন্য সাবমিট ছিল করে না
You are not doing.
সাবমিট ক্লিক করা যায়
Then what is?
Sir, they are saying that this resource is not found. Run that project.
This one.
Yes, sir. They are not finding that resource. Enter customer.
You are having any customer? Plus,
Sir,
CVS to going.
customer.
Correct na?
Correct. It's a customer. It's a customer. So run that project.
Because like same name. Then
Control যেটা আছে না কন্ট্রোল নাম হচ্ছে অ্যাকশন
Sir, mine is not showing.
not showing.
It is showing.
Property name, that name is wrong here. I think go to that control. Enter customers. No, enter the view. This view. What is the name? Customer name, customer code. Go to the model. Customer code, customer name. Same. Huh? Now go to that customer code. Okay. It is string.
না না বলতেছি হচ্ছে কিসের জন্য সেটা
No. It's not order. I am not talking about this. Enter customer. Enter customer.
এই জন্য মনে সোজা বলতেছি
Customer, CUSTOMER, customer name.
ডিজাইনের দাম দাও ডিজাইনের নামও বসাও দাও
Input type correct. Submit.
বুঝছেন না
Hello, submit. Action submit.
না না কালকে ক্লাস
Sir, what is the
কালকে ক্লাস নেই
small letter model and
Customer.
ওটাই বলতেছি
Not customer. Okay. Now run it.
শুধু করে দিতে পারবেন না তো ভালো বিষয় না
Enter. Customer slash enter. You are back previous information you are running.
Getting this something.
Remove this display customer, right enter.